This is Max Michaelani, and you're listening to the Crowject.
Left foot goal. Oh, don't tell me. He's a superstar. Don't tell me. Oh!
Bounces straight up. Leaves the path the ball. Oh, they're having holes.
William Kelly. Can she be the hero? Kick off goal.
He's done it.
Back towards Jarman.
All right, thanks to our sponsors in Solely Designs, Nathaniel's Coffee and Panini, Trojan Aluminium and ARC General Maintenance. This is the Crowject Podcast, episode 272, feasting your eardrums with all sorts of information that we're going to be able to give tonight. Now, we've got plenty coming up. We've got the AFL Women's Preview and also the Showdown Preview that's happening this week. We've got, thank God, the AFL Men's season is over with, and now the pre-season and all the fun will be happening there too. Now, my name's Peter, and it's not just me joining tonight. We are a menage a trois tonight. We've also got Ben. Hello, Ben.
Hello, mate. I'm just glad to see more than two people in the studio.
I know, yeah. We thought it was a you thing, but...
Turns out one more person can stand me.
Yeah.
Bless. And we're also joined by Ray. Hello, Ray.
Hola.
Yeah.
To keep that, you called it a menage a trois, trying to keep the diverse languages going.
Trying to keep it straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we talk about, I'm going to add, let's put, oh no, that was Spanish. Let's put German in there. So let's talk about Das Football.
Don't mention the war.
It's been a long season.
It has been a long season. However, we also have a lot to talk about with our amazing AFL women's team too. Now, a big thank you to our amazing patrons, patreon.com/Crowject. We have our bonus episode at the end of the pod with our segment stream. We just did a little pre-roll as well where we talked all things questions, sugar. We called Kristen, who's going to be on with us in a second, screws, and kids in no particular order. Now, we're going to be calling Kristen as well. Now, Kristen is a friend of the pod. She writes for baseball.com.au. She is a certified AFL women's nuffie as well. So much of a nuffie that she tossed the coin at the 2022 AFL Women's Grand Final at Adelaide Oval and had on her head a Crom beanie. That's right. If you head to crowject.bigcartel.com, you can get the same beanie. That was on Adelaide Oval in standard definition as well because Channel 7 decided not to do it in high def. Who knew? But there's a lot for us to go to, a plethora of things, isn't there, Ben?
A plethora indeed.
For all things AFL Women's, and we'll be getting to the crappy AFL Men's team later on. We'll give a call to Kristen right now, down the pipe. We did call her before.
She's blocked the number.
Oh, God.
It's over.
Fair enough.
Hello.
Hello, Kristen.
Hi, how is everyone?
Good, Kristen.
Good.
Now, Kristen, first off, we introduced you just before. You do some writing for baseball.com.au and you are certified AFL Women's Nuffie as well. But tell us a little bit more about your Crows fandom as well. Where did it all start, mate?
Well, it started when I was very, very young. I'm pretty sure I was at the first game. I've always gone to the footy with family. As a kid, it was always with my grandparents. So I got my love from the Crows when I was really, really, really little. And unfortunately, over the last few years, I'm not sure how good that's been. But luckily, we've now got the AFLW team to give us a little bit more joy than what we're getting from the boys at the moment.
Oh, yes. You got that right. Now, what's been your favourite memory so far of the AFL Women's, either league or the team itself? Well, what's one part that you've enjoyed the most?
Oh, this is tough, but I'd have to say the flag that we won when we beat Melbourne, and it was a really, really hot day, and I just remember being there and that knowing
22?
the second, 22, I reckon it was, and when, Danny kicked that goal in the third quarter, I reckon it was, I knew then, I was like, we've got this one, this is in the bag. I don't know. There was just something really, really special about that day.
No, agreed. What's been your favourite memory, Ben?
Mine would have to be the 2019 grand final where we pants Carlton and I sat in the front row of the cheer squad that day. And it was just I'd
agree with that
day.
too. That was just seeing, because I was there as well, and the sheer volume of people as well.
I think from the start of the day where they had the top level of the ground closed off, and then we sort of just gradually watched them, and we're like, oh, they've opened it up. It's kind of filling up, and then we're like, oh, it's full. Like it's literally full.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
How about yourself, Ray?
Oh, thanks for asking. I thought you never would. I think the first season and the way that people just got behind it straight away. There was the lockout at Icon Park, I think, for the first game. And that everyone embraced it. And then the players sort of like started filtering in from other codes because they've always wanted to be around footy. And I think that was the highlight for me.
Fantastic. Now, Kristen, I've given you the run sheet about the preview of who's back for the Crows, who's left, season predictions as well, and some Showdown preview chat too. So let's just break it down as well about who's back for the Crows and who's left as well. Because I've seen your notes, and I just want to say it's more prep than I've done for the whole year. So fantastic work, buddy. But so who's back for the Crows and who's left, mate?
We're pretty lucky. We've kept, I think, like 19 from our best 21 from last year. So the big outs would have to be Montana McKinnon, who's gone over to Richmond just for a little bit more opportunity, and probably, and Yvonne Bonner, who has retired. So other than that, we've really kept all of our big guns, like, Anne Hatchard, Ebony Marinoff, Chelsea Randall, Caitlin Gould, Sarah Allen. Like, that's just throwing out a few names there, but we've been really, really lucky to hold on to all of our big names.
Because is Abby Ballard back from an ACL as well? I saw
she'd be just about
nearly.
I think she's nearly back.
Okay.
I remember seeing her running, I think, February, March, I reckon. So possibly towards the end of the season.
Okay.
Now, I have a big question for you here, Kristen. Now that, why is her name? Now that Jess Waterhouse has started cooking on TikTok, will she have an impact like Kristen Petrarca on the competition?
I mean, I think she was anyway, but I can definitely see her stepping it up this year. I'm loving the TikTok personality that we're seeing from her, that's for sure. But she's just, I don't know, she's got that spark about her. She just pops up and gets those sneaky goals. So I reckon she does have a bit of track about her.
No, it's excellent. What's your go-to dish?
Probably just your standard bolognese, I reckon. Like, it doesn't get much better than that when you've just come home from a crappy day at work. Put that together, and it's always tasty, and you've always got leftovers.
Yeah, right.
That's a good call.
Fuck, I'm hungry again. Now, if we go through, so we've gone through the who's back and who's left as well. I know you mentioned about Brooke and Lily. They're showing a little bit of promise too. I'm really fascinated to see how we sort of gel together as a group. Has that been something that's come through on the training track or anything else that you've seen, or based off preseason?
I think like normal, because we've been able to hold so much of that core group. Like when you look at pretty much any other AFLW team, there's not many who have got as few changes across the years as what we have.
Yeah.
Even with the expansions, we've been really, really lucky. So I think gel-wise we'll be okay. Obviously, when you've got 19 of your best 21, there's not too many changes. So I've got a lot of faith, especially with I hate saying this, but the older guard, being able to make sure like the new players that are coming in are going to be well looked after.
So you're telling me they're going to be cohesive as a unit, sort of like the men's side, huh?
Better.
Look, personally, I don't know about yourself and you guys too, but it's something that I really value with the AFL women's side. They're amazing.
Yep.
It was put to me by, if you haven't checked it out on Patreon, my chat with
Mariana Ratchet.
Yeah. Yep. MJ at the start of the year.
It was a great chat, by the way.
How Chelsea and these people have really driven culture at the club, and really, without her, it wouldn't be as successful as what it is. And to see her around not only the men's team but still the women's team.
Yeah.
And I think they'd be silly to get rid of her after she finishes playing. They should sign her up for life.
Absolutely.
And MJ
Yeah,
and
definitely.
all the kids that they have, because they just need to be around our football club.
Yeah, we need.
Yep.
Yeah, we need more mother daughter and mother son
Yes,
picks
correct.
as well.
Yes. Yep.
Now, if we get to some of the season predictions here, Kristen. Now, who do you have as premier? And we'll go around the table as well, but who do you have, buddy?
Honestly, I'm going to go with North Melbourne. I just get this feeling that with them now being a part of a grand final, losing last year, I just think they're just going to go that extra step. And I don't know, I'd just like to see someone else kind of get in there, I reckon. Like, I'm all for us getting there, but if it's not us, let's go with someone who's not Brisbane or Melbourne.
Is that just a pity? Just because, I mean, look, there's nothing fills my heart more than seeing Dan, who has not seen the Roos win in person last year with Neve Kelly's beautiful goal as well, and expertly called by Sam Tugwell as well, who I think is going to be calling more games this year as well. But honestly, it's a great pick. Ben, who you got, buddy?
Look, it's very hard to go past Brisbane because they're always just so strong. You back the Crows in. Back the Crows in, but I'd probably have North up there as well. Like Kristen said, they've added a few
It's like
handy
three fucking
players.
sides. Would you?
Crows first, but if it's not us, I'd go North.
Okay. All right.
I don't share the same sentiment as either of these. I only want to see us win.
I'm the same too. Fuck it. Lids off.
Yeah, we're just built. We're made different than the rest of the teams. We're made of the right stuff, and we're going to see that stuff this year.
I mean, yeah, and I keep going back to how good this squad is, and I think the fabric of this team, they're on a journey.
Sounds like a book title.
I just wish. I think the only thing that I really wish is that they could line up the lower league season with the AFLW season. It just really shits me that there's no other football being played because no one can fight for positions. I just had a glitch then. I think I just rebooted mid-sentence. No one can play themselves into form. No one can go back and earn their spot by getting a buttload of the ball in the twos.
Yeah.
I mean, the SANFL women's only just finished. Is that correct, Chris?
No, a while ago.
Like as in
A
month
little
and a half,
while.
2 months ago.
Yeah. Not that long ago, but long enough that, if you're, struggling with a little bit of form or something like that, you've got nowhere to go to kind of like build your confidence back up.
Yeah, because I think it was SANFL women's. It was South Adelaide from memory. Yeah,
Yes,
'cause they
it
won.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, let's go off on a little tangent here, just to talk about the AFL women's at general. For me, I was so sad to see Nicole Livingston leave her post because, to be perfectly honest, probably like her, I had no idea what exactly she did. But the other thing too, just seeing how the AFL House have treated AFL women's, for example, with their fixturing for the finals, how they've put it up against the Bulldogs game as well.
What a joke that is.
Where do you feel about this, Christian? Like, personally, I feel like they're just sort of running it into the ground, and they almost want to say, "Oh, it's because the girls don't play as well," and which I think is a load of shit. They just need more time invested into them, and it's almost like AFL House don't want to do that. How do you feel about that?
I'm going to try and be as diplomatic as I can with this one.
Don't be. Just go
I-
full ball.
Hammer and tong.
Yeah.
I honestly, I believe that when the seasons were being played over that January, February, I believe it was too hot. I'll 100% stand by that it did
Damon.
need to be moved. But, I'm not a fan of this. Let's put it when the finals are on. Last year, I think it was, with their bargaining agreement, one of the AFL's big things was like there'll be crowd numbers and targets that they have to reach for their next pay rise for more games and all that kind of stuff. Well, sorry, if you're scheduling stuff at random Tuesday nights and I think we had Saturday mornings and stuff like that last year. Look, I love the game, I do. But last year, I watched less and attended fewer games than I ever have.
Yep.
Because it was just too hard to get to. What good is it starting at 4 o'clock on a Friday when people are working.
Yes.
Agree.
Like, yeah, so I 100% am in the same kind of view that, like, when it comes down to, oh, no, we can't give you more games because nobody goes. Well, duh. Like, if you haven't put it at a time where people can actually go, then you're not going to grow the game and you're not going to grow the crowds. So,
Yeah.
Agreed.
I mean, it's almost like the AFL House is just gaslighting the AFL Women's League. Like, legitimately, though, it's like, you know, you just hamstring them and then it's to a point of, oh, you failed. How did that happen?
What do you mean you didn't draw a crowd at Wednesday 4:45? Come on, guys.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Exactly.
Yeah. We put you on a Saturday at 10 a.m. Oh, what's wrong with you? Like,
oh, people don't like this, and you only have to look at the NRL and look at their crowds this year, with their league and their state of origin, and like, it's there. People want to go, so
And their NRLW is absolutely flying.
Yep.
exactly, yep.
and even compare it to, you know, the momentum that's been captured with the Matildas.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, they still at Adelaide Oval on it wasn't a weeknight, I think it was a Friday night against China.
Yeah.
Yep.
In a real 1-0 humdinger that I had tickets for, but I had to go to a family event. Sold them very well, though, on Ticketmaster. Thank you. But at the same time, like, you know, to sell that out too, that's 54,000 that were at Adelaide Oval too, and a very family-friendly thing. The fact that the AFL are not capturing this area, because it's a good country vibe.
I don't think it needs to, like, I don't think they need to build it up to a spot where Adelaide are playing Port Adelaide at Adelaide Oval. I don't think it needs to get there for a long time. But to see Saturday night, Alberton will be pretty packed, I would have thought.
Yep.
You know, that's going to look good for your brand on TV, having a full suburban ground when we get Theberton up and running.
Oh, amen. I can't wait.
You know, we can play games there and have a fairly full suburban ground. It looks better as a spectacle on TV, and that's where the eyes need to be. Don't try to grow it that big that they need to be selling out Marvel Stadium in 2 years, because that's just not achievable, and it doesn't really need to be.
No, agreed.
No.
So let's get to the next one. The soon-to-be-named Erin Phillips medal, which I've just put that in there, but best and fairest for league and jacket. Now, we can talk about as well, so the league at large, but also who's going to be the best player for the AFL women's team for the Crows. And maybe your thoughts on last year's best and fairest that the AFL hosted for the AFL women's, where, you know, for some reason Port Adelaide's logo was Hawthorn, you know, and their standards therein. But you tell us, who's going to win the Erin Phillips medal, soon to be named, for the league?
I reckon Jazzy Garner from North Melbourne. She's been up there for quite a few years now. And I feel like she was unlucky last year. I'm not saying that Mon Conti's not an absolute star, but definitely it's time for Jazzy to get that medal around her neck, for her consistency more than anything.
Mm-hmm. And who do you have for the Crows?
I reckon if we can get a really good year out of Sarah Allen, with fitness-wise, she's got to be up there, but I think we all know that it's probably going to be almost a tie between Hatchie and Noffy for this one, because, they're just both so good in so many different ways. So I think that's going to be a tough call for those two.
Nice. Ben?
Yeah, I would, you know, you'd love to say Hatchard or Noff for the league-wide one, but they steal too many votes off each other. It's plain and as simple as that. So I'd probably go with Chloe Malloy. Obviously, a very big signing for Sydney. There aren't many incredible, like, you know, star-level players playing for Sydney, so she'll have the chance to just absolutely dominate a side and just do as she likes. So I will back her in for the best and fairest.
Nice. And for the Crows too.
I love Noff. I'll lean Noff, but it could be Noff, Hatchard, Sarah Allen. Could be anyone.
Just pick a fucking
Noffy.
Old Switzerland over here, just sitting on the fence of everything. I'm going to go Chloe Malloy as well.
Yep.
I reckon, like Cripps and Bontempelli, the media absolutely just get on their knees for her. And then for us, it's hard to go past Noffy, isn't it?
Yep. Now, I honestly was going to go with Chloe Malloy as well for the league, but Maybe I'll split it between that and Jazz Garner, just do a Ben. And for the local one, I can't go past EJ because Ben taught her everything. So
She will be undecided on whether to handball the ball, kick the ball, and she'll get caught holding the ball every time.
I didn't teach her that part.
I didn't tell you that. No indecision at the Ben School of
the Footy Factory.
Yeah, Footy Factory. Calder Callens, eat your heart out. Now, Kristen. Now, we've also decided that instead of the Coleman, it's going to be the Cole Woman as well.
Love it.
For the league at large or just for the Crows, either or, you can tell us who's going to kick the most snags.
Definitely Danielle Ponter for the Crows. I can't see anybody else beating her. And league-wise, you can't really look past Dakota Davison. I think back in her full fitness as well. She's just a force to be reckoned with. So I can see her having that Cole Woman medal.
Nice. I like that. You know what? I keep saying this every year, but we really should just make that medal. We should. I'll get onto Alibaba and get some person who will contract a 4-year-old to get into the lead smelter and make that one. Anyway,
allegedly. Yeah.
Allegedly. It's a fact.
It probably is. Yeah,
we've all got iPhones.
The shout of Dakota Davidson. She is very hard to go past. She's an absolute jet and probably be running on a bit of extra motivation after the way her grand final ended last year with the injury halfway through the third quarter.
Yes.
But I think Caitlin Gould for the Crows. Whilst I love Ponta, Gould is a very big target up forward and will certainly get on the end of many. And I think with our midfield running as well as what the club has been telling us in pre-season, they'll have it down there plenty and she'll take plenty of mark and kick plenty of goals.
Nice. Right.
I'm going to go with EJ for both Eloise Jones. I think I'm going to say this massive bold call. I'm going to call a Creamy's call on this one with no actual research or anything, just a pure vibe thing. I think EJ is going to set the AFLW record for most goals in a game this year.
Whoa.
I think she'll kick 8 in a game.
8 snags in a game.
Yeah.
God, Porter going to be shit this week.
That is with no actual
8 goals.
She could be playing in the guts for all we know. She's still going to take 8.
It's just a vibe thing. You know, I run my eyes over it and I think she's got it in her.
Yeah, I rate that.
See, you've sort of stolen my thunder because I was going to say Ponta for both. But I wasn't going to say 8 snags.
Is she going to, extend on her longest goal that she kicked last year this year?
Oh, that was beautiful, wasn't it? Bit of a tailwind. just a little bit. But, they don't need to know that.
Long jump wouldn't have counted for a while.
No. Now, what else we got? Now, we've got the AFL Women's, obviously the opening of the league this week as well, but we've got round 1 where we play Port at Alberton at the pork barreling local government stadium. With the extra seating that I saw as well, they've put in extra, scaffolding for people to sit on. Who knew? I think they'll have the ceremonial tarp that they'll put over it too.
Yes. Rip some chairs out of a few Commodores. Or
exactly.
Chuck them around the edge.
All the hubcaps too.
Josh Rochelli's organised Colgate to give him a bit of a boost to seating.
No, it'll be dentures as well. So, shout out to, there was I think it was someone who sponsored the game for Sturt as well. It was the dentist.
Yeah.
Did you see that, Kristen?
I did. That was very amusing.
Yeah, very
Sturt put up saying, "Don't worry, Josh, we'll be all smiles to have you down here."
They made a song and everything, didn't they?
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah, that was good. Now, Port with Ash Judas Saint as well, playing for the Port pair as well. What are your thoughts? Have you done any recon on the other side as well? What are your thoughts over? Because they got a new coach as well, is it? They extended their coach. Sorry.
Yes.
Correct. Correct. Go Peter. Kristen, tell us more about what's happening with Port.
Obviously, massive notable out has to be the one and only Erin Phillips.
Never heard
so that's
of
her. a big, big hole for them. And Yasin Dersma. But luckily, they've been able to snag Kirsty Lamb from the Dogs. So losing Erin, replacing with Kirsty will be huge because she's just another one of those names who's always consistent and will be really big for that kind of like, I guess, seniority piece for the power. Yeah, so I think they'll be a little bit more improved than last year because they've just got, a bit of a squad that have been together for a few years now. As you said, down forward, they are quite dangerous with Ash Saint and Gemma Houghton. So
They're going to fucking get it there first, don't they?
I reckon Kirsty Lamb will be able to, knock a few around. So it might be a little bit different this time around.
Yeah, fuck. All right. But look, I despise Port with a passion, and that's because they came into this league very late. I know I've spoken about this ad nauseum, but seriously, fuck that club and fuck them for taking the China money instead of going for the AFL's women's, which is the fairer league and the better league, unless Nicole Livingston's running it. Now,
and China have never done anything wrong, so I
no,
don't know why
they're great. In fact, they're making the Coal Woman medal as well.
And if our Chinese overlords are listening,
yeah, shout out to our Wuhan connection as well. While I'm a platinum dealer on Alibaba, whatever that means. Now, real quick, any recon that you guys have done as well about Port? No.
I'd take no notice of Port Adelaide, to be perfectly honest with you.
Exactly, me too. Seriously, fuck that club. Now, Kristen, we've got to ask you, how much are we going to pump them by, respectfully?
Respectfully, I think probably 30 points.
And disrespectfully?
Disrespectfully, hopefully 10 goals.
30 or 60. I like the multipliers. 30 or 60. And who's going to be leading goal scorer?
I reckon Gouldy. Yep, I reckon Caitlin Gould will kick a bag and get us over the line.
Awesome. Fantastic. Benny Mac.
Yeah, I've got us winning by probably about 40 points or so. And I'll switch. So Kristen picked Ponta for the Coal Woman medal, and I picked Gould. She's picked Gould for the most goals. I was going to pick Ponta, so we'll roll with that. Ponta will kick 3.
Pont with 3. Oh. Nice. Raymondi.
I'm just looking at the weather, and it's going to be a bit of a treacherous night, so I think it could be low scoring.
That's just because we're going to Alberton.
Yeah, exactly. Like, lock your cars.
Yeah, no.
So if you're going down there, don't.
Use your
get out and
mobile
support
lock.
the girls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, support the girls. But seriously, just be
I think we win by
careful.
20 points because
20
it'll be pretty low scoring because might be a bit wet and windy and
bit of slop fest.
Yep. And I think Hatchie kicks the most goals out the middle.
Nice.
Mm.
Oh, fuck it. we're gonna pump them by 65. Okay. Because fuck that club. I'm going to go with Ponta as well. I'm going to say Ponta's going to kick 4. And I'll be so happy as well. In fact, I reckon Jess Waterhouse as well, she's going to drop a mean sort of scrambled eggs cooking video the next morning. Recovery.
She'll say
pear infused.
TikTok video is going to be like a game day vlog, I reckon.
Yeah,
the next day.
Yeah, 100%.
It has to be. What's your favourite sort of
wrap it
AFL?
up.
Yeah, what's your favourite sort of AFL women's content, Kristen? What do you like seeing?
I don't know. I like seeing some of the, I guess, like ins and outs. Last year, I think we saw a few more bus trips and a few more behind the scenes things.
Yeah.
So I like seeing that. Like seeing how they tick and get on with each other.
I think the personalities need to be highlighted more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That's how they're going to sell the game, not by just expecting people to turn up. People have to grow a connection to the players. Like that's what forms our love for the club. That's what gets us supporting them, and then
be a part of the journey.
Yeah, correct. So I think things like Jess on TikTok and stuff like that is perfect because you get to know her a little bit, and people are invested in her, not just trying to make AFL Women's just grow as a brand.
On that, I need a Hayley and Maddie / Jess Waterhouse combination.
Collab.
Yeah, get Jess in one of their skits, I reckon.
Yep.
Amen. Oh, you know what? I'm going to ask the club about taking my dog down there and just slap a GoPro on him. A big golden retriever just running around at training.
Oh,
That sounds like it would be in the way.
Oh, he's always in the way.
It sounds counterproductive.
Yeah, we'll do it. A really shit opponent. And just be like, look.
Good boy vibes up, production down.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. I'll run it past Clark first. Who was made a life member of the Crows this year as well. Gave a fantastic speech at the men's season launch. Fuck's sake.
When's that season start?
Hey, Kristen, who do you reckon out of the men's team's going to have the biggest brat summer?
I reckon Solly.
Yeah, that's a good call.
That's a great
Solly and Nate might get up to a bit of brat summer in Europe.
Absolutely on brand.
Nothing demure.
Yeah. See, I'm young. I'm cool with the kids.
I'm down with the kids.
Yeah.
Oh God, I actually really like. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say I barely knew what that meant, but I knew just enough to answer.
Yeah, Jesus. Oh God. Are we going to say things are skibbity riz or skibbity toilet?
Oh no.
Brat summer's all I've got.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. And we're trying to hold on to our youth here, Kristen.
I feel you.
Now, look, do you have any thoughts about the men's side of things? You just want to let rip before we sort of line things up with yourself, and not we're trying to kick you off or anything, but you know what I mean. Look, do you have any thoughts about how the men have how to put it lightly, shit the bed this year with their season?
Well, I can gladly say that I'm glad it's over. I think let's just put this one in the rear view and move on, and hopefully next year we'll get Filthy will be back bigger and better with a bigger beard, and he'll be terrifying, and we'll come. I don't know, couldn't really go backwards from here, so hopefully we're in a better position.
Oh no, we can.
Yeah, we probably could. But
I'm trying to be optimistic.
I'm going to get called a happy club for this, but we've
You've
definitely
been called that a few times this year.
We've definitely had some excuse onions out there this year.
Oh yes,
because the onion is the base of most meals, and our season as a meal this year, there was plenty of excuse onions in there. Like Silthorpe missed half the year, Rankin missed a few games, 7 or 8 games he missed. Yeah, that's throw them onions into the
slice,
bottom.
dice, and julienne.
Nick Murray didn't come into the side. He's arguably one of our best defenders. Didn't come into the side till round 15. So there's plenty of excuse onions. I might not partake in the excuse onions and just let it simmer, but there is some excuse onions are down the bottom of our base of a season.
You're just going to let the juice simmer a bit?
Yes, correct.
What the fuck? Excuse me. What if you're not a fan of
So
onions?
next year we're deglazing the pan, are we?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
We'll get some
We're
red
bringing
wine.
out the Chardonnay.
Yes.
That's the part of the Christian Petrarca channel you don't see.
We would be a very Le Creuset sort of club, wouldn't we? Like the port would be like aluminium, we're Le Creuset or copper as well, copper pots.
Yeah, that's it. We just had a few excuse onions this year.
Yeah.
Next year we're gonna make something.
Fucking excuse onions. That's it. That's a title of the pop. Excuse onions.
Next year we're gonna make something like a carbonara. There's no onions in sight.
Spaghetti carbonara.
Yeah, that's right. Or maybe we'll make.
What if we're lactose intolerant? Then we'll shit the bed again.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Cheese,
no-
but it should mostly be eggs, really.
Yeah, if
I know.
you're a
Okay.
traditional carbonara.
What if we're albumin intolerant? Oh, fuck, all right. Yes.
I'm not. I don't tolerate intolerance. So
Yes. God, this segment's gone really skibbity toilet. All right. Look, Kristen, thank you so much for your hard work, buddy. I really appreciate the preview for all things. We'll put this up on a post as well with all of our predictions too, mate. But hopefully we'll see you again during the season, mate. And look forward to hearing from you and keep up all your great work. Okay. buddy?
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for having me. And yes, I'd love to come back again sometime if you'd have me again.
Oh, we gladly. You know, we miss you tonight, but you've joined us in the two-dimensional realm of
Yes.
Telstra Wi-Fi calling. Anyway, look, you have a good one, buddy, and we'll catch you soon. Okay.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye. And that was Kristen joining us from God knows where, somewhere in Adelaide. But
We don't need to
Yeah,
get
we
a
don't
full
need-
address, probably.
now, we are going to get into the AFL men's because, unfortunately, we have to. But
For the last time this year.
for the last time, and I'm sure it'll be a quiet off season with nothing going wrong.
No Brad Summers.
Yeah, no, Brad Summers. Oh my God. It's funny. Of course, you, out of all the people, you would bring that up. Now, Ben, what was the score in the final game that you attended as well, my boy?
I was too drunk, I don't remember. No, it was 18-13, 121 to Sydney to 13-12, 90 the Crows.
Oh, geez, we got close, didn't we, Ray?
Yeah, there was a few junk time goals at the end that made us look a little bit better.
Look, I'll tell you what, halfway through the first quarter, it didn't look like we were going to get within 130 of them. So, it turned out okay in the end.
Yeah, I know. It was just... I don't even know how to, just sum it up into words because it was
Well,
just...
could you? We're an audio podcast.
Yeah. I was going to actually do an interpretive dance number. So, unfortunately, no one will see that this time.
Hey, we're on YouTube.
Yeah, go to YouTube, youtube.com/fuck knows what. Yeah, just search the Crowject.
It was lacked effort, didn't it? It just
Oh,
was a
yeah.
little bit. Everyone was just a bit fed up with it. You could
Yeah.
see on a few faces that everyone was just ready to get to the off season,
Oh,
put this behind us, put this season to bed,
yeah.
get to their exit meetings.
Well, how many of them
Go.
do you think had direct flights from Sydney?
They all flew the next morning because they landed at the same time as me walking through the airport.
Oh, la-di-da.
So they arrived at-
You were getting off the Learjet,
I was off
were
the
you?
Jetstar
Yeah.
and they were on the, I don't know, Virgin or one of the fancy
they-
airlines.
Virgin,
But
yeah.
Sorry, I meant direct flights out of Sydney.
Nah.
Off to Denpasar.
They've got stuff to do,
Oh, the
Mad
stuff.
Monday.
Yeah,
Mad Monday.
Down
I've
at-
seen Rory Sloane absolutely putting in effort for Mad Monday
He's
today.
carrying about 6 cartons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Bloody hell.
He said it was his last one and he's got to go give it an extra effort.
God, he'd be sore tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Let's still be going right now, I reckon.
Yes. They got to do their exit meetings. They got to get club best and fairest out the way before they can
Oh, that's right.
take off. So,
What do you reckon that speech at the best and fairest is going to be? It's going to be a couple of little barbs to some of the media operators in the room.
That'd be interesting, actually.
But I reckon,
do we have a table this year that we can go and listen?
yeah, right.
I ain't going to
Us
sell
at a
out if
black-
it goes to the public. That's it.
Us at a black tie vinegar, you kidding? Look at me, I'm wearing a fucking polo on here. Crowject.bigcartel.com to get yourself a perm if you want. Now, Ray, we had some goal kickers, unbelievably.
Lots. I didn't know that Taylor kicked 3, but good on him.
He did.
Zachy Taylor with 3, Thilthorpe 3. He couldn't get away from the ball at the start of the game. Walker 2, Nankervis kicked his first ever. Keezy, Dawson, Curtin, and Berry also with singles. Curtin looked very good again.
Yes, he did. He did. Now, Ben, the best on ground.
I've just read who the last
Yes.
one.
Yeah.
According
Now,
to
I want to be
AFC.
clear. Peter, in his laziness, copy-pasted this from AFC. So this is verbatim from what they've said. Okay.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So,
The floor is yours.
so Dawson, good. Keys, Thilthorpe, Crouch, and Laird.
Do we need to talk about Lead's week that we
He
had?
didn't have a good week, did he, the DOS man?
No, the old IKEA desk.
Yeah.
It's not a lead of roses this week. It's
No.
something quite different.
Oh, Lead of.
All thorns, no roses.
Yes. It was a bit of a prickly week for him, wasn't it?
It was.
Every rose has its thorn. Good song. But my God, Lead, that kick out.
Oh, the kick out.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean,
That
that
does-
just compiled things as well.
It doesn't look too bad in comparison to the handball receiver he was trying to get from Brody Grundy instead of running at the ball.
Yeah. He didn't play he played a bad game. He hasn't done that many times. But it compiled
Because he wasn't doing
from-
the team thing, right?
Yeah. It compiled from a bad week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just
And it just like if he has that game without the week that he had, it probably isn't isolated as much.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yes and no, like senior player, but we certainly wouldn't be highlighting it as much if he hadn't been out last week saying someone wasn't living up to team standards, and then looking like you're off with the fairies.
Now, I know that we talked about, me and Lockie sort of almost had a debrief session. The advertiser who said that it was an emergency pod, I'll just zhuzh that up a little bit just to be clear.
Do you mean the advertiser where Ben's a major contributor of?
Correct, yeah.
Long-time podcaster, by the way.
I love that. Okay, we need to talk about that on Friday. The messages started coming through, and there was it a voicemail that they had left for? No, they didn't leave for us, but
friend of the pod, Mikey Nicholson, got in touch.
That's right, yeah, and I had a cathartic debrief with him in between consults. But look, tell us a little bit about that experience, Ben. Antimor Ianella, he wrote the story, so you had a chat with him.
Correct.
How did that go, boss?
Yeah, it's different. I've never been interviewed in that sort of capacity before, and full well knowing going into it that anything that I was going to say negative about the club was going to be spun into far worse, which it semi was, but semi wasn't at the same time. But no, it was okay. He's a Crows fan himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was different, and you could tell there were certain angles that were trying to be pushed with the article, which I danced around pretty nicely. I think the mention of a certain camp from a certain year came up.
I mean, look, it's good to know that this pod, 5 years later, when 5 years ago Cream was the poster boy for Channel 7,
a bit of a slap in the face.
Yeah, with the where is that? Here it is.
It was a bit of a slap in the face.
Now, that is from the Channel 7 story from 5 years ago, pretty much to the day, I think. My favourite part of that day was Cream saying, yes, I'll do it. Fuck, where's my Crows jacket? I'll go and get a haircut first. He goes and gets the haircut.
Not the Crows jacket.
Not the Crows jacket. And then is calling me, asking me where his jacket is. I don't know his house, let alone his wardrobe. And I said, Cream, it'll be where you left it last. He said, okay, thanks, mate. Hangs up on me. Like, that's just it's like saying, it's always the last place where you look. Well, you're not going to keep fucking looking for someone, you know. Anyway. But yeah, so Ben, thank you for that chat. Tracy Smart as well, a friend of the pod as well. She had a chat on there too.
Andrew Cozzy Costello.
Yeah, I was going to say the Culture Vulture got on there as well, which is unfortunate. But anyway, if you want to be on the pod, let us know, Cozzy.
Cozzy's a good man.
Yeah.
Great theme song to the show.
Yeah. What are the kids say at the end?
with Cozzy.
I like possums. Yeah, I like possums. Cuts in 9 News. Shit. All right, Laird. And look, we need to talk about Fog as well, because Fog did make some comments this week as well, which we didn't talk about. Was about saying, okay, do your Fog impression of, I would love to derail this season.
Oh yeah, I'd love to derail this season. A bit of country, a bit of
Is that how they talk themselves?
No
I'd
idea.
like to derail their season.
Southeast, but the wrong country.
But hey, a lot's happened. But I want this game. I want to erase it from memory and this season as well.
Yeah,
like we are going to be talking. We're going to do our full. Where we're going to talk about our pre-season predictions. And I think all of us predicted the Crows to play finals.
Yeah.
I was actually looking at that yesterday.
I think I predicted top 4.
I had him 6th.
Yeah, that didn't go well, did it?
No.
Not overly.
I said that Port. I don't think any of us had Port making finals.
I did.
Oh, well, the egg's on most of our faces. Exactly. Yeah.
I had him at like 8th, not top 2, but... And I'm pretty sure most of us picked Hawthorn to win a spoon.
No, we were consistent with West Coast. Everyone had West Coast, but no one had Richmond in the bottom 4.
No, exactly. Now, how about we get to the voicemails? Because there were some ripping voicemails that came through.
Let's do that.
I bet there were some emotions spewed through these voicemails.
Pretty sure everyone would have been calm and reasonable.
Fair and balanced. Here we go. There were only 2 this week. But holy guacamole.
Abusing the right to call at any time again. Chiggy, currently down the Gold Coast with work, but just got a couple of thoughts. And like everybody, I'm pissed off about this whole handling of the Rochelle situation. And if it's to be believed, Mark Keane is now looking at walking as well. He's gone back to Ireland for personal reasons, but obviously there's rumours that he's walked out of the club. Like everybody, I think it's piss poor the way that this club has handled it, the leadership group has handled it. Rory Laird, I think, needs a fucking talking to as well for the way he's gone out in public and had a chat about Rochelle. You don't do that to your teammates. You talk to them in private, and in public you back him in every single day of the week. So I thought that was poor form. But what's really got me worried, especially leading into the off-season, is we're trying to get premiership quality players into the club, like Alex Neil-Bullen, someone like Jack Lukosius we've been linked to as well. Sid Draper we're trying to get in. What does this tell them about our culture? Like Sid Draper, for example, do you really think he's going to want to come to the club if this is how we treat young players? Alex Neil-Bullen is, that's not a premiership winning culture. Maybe I'll stay put. Maybe I'll go to Port Adelaide. Who fucking knows? Like, this could have serious ramifications, not just for the short term, but for the long term, if we don't get this right now. Anyway, I've had my rant. Have fun, guys.
Oh, perfectly said. Huh?
Yeah.
Perfect. Oh, yeah, the footy light. You better put the footy light on. We weren't talking about footy before, though, were we? No, that was very well said, Justin Cheekums. Abuse us anytime. You can give us some abuse on 0882465498 whenever you want, because seriously, there is so much to go through. But okay, it's going to be a big off season. Now, this is the other one. This is the only other one that we have.
Crows are fucking shit.
Thanks, Dad.
Crows are fucking shit.
We'll take that as a statement.
That's got to be a new soundbite.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't worry. That's going in. I'll give this to you, boss. So, look, thank you so much for calling in as well. I think everyone's just a little bit deflated, but Ray, what have you made of the last week, buddy? Like, honestly, have you seen it?
It was disappointing. I just seems like the week that we didn't need.
Yep.
Honestly, like, I had no problem with what Josh Rochelle said. I thought it was a bit of fun banter. He was on a fun bantery radio station. That's what they're not there to get his analysis of football.
I mean, 5AA is not exactly bad.
Well, he did it on Nova.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He did it on Nova, and then it leaked down to them when he went to 5AA.
Yeah.
But they've got him there for a bit of fun. Like, let's get a bit of personality out. So I didn't have a problem with that.
It's either that or Secret Sound.
I just think, yeah, exactly. I just think that we've found out with Showdowns that it's the team that talks the most that loses.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So we've almost got to stir away from that and let Port Adelaide do it like they usually do. I don't have a problem with it. It's a bit of banter. Everyone got involved.
I saw it as a bit of fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was probably the most hectic showdown I can remember since Rue and Carr punched each other at the Ramsgate.
Mm. And Rue didn't get dropped after that.
No, that was within team.
Exactly. You had my back.
Yeah, but it was just disappointing with how it was handled.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be handled. If you're going to drop a player for not holding up team standards, that needs to be a meeting with that player, and then that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing, though, from other conversations and other press conferences, like Nixie on Friday morning, I think it was at the airport. It sounds as though there might have been some previous conversations about different things, and whether it's, celebrating with the crowd before your teammates or, doing whatever it may be. Doesn't sound like an isolated incident, and I'll say that with quotation marks.
But he's passionate.
I agree.
I fully agree. You want to take that out of the kid?
Fully agree with what you're saying. And like Murph said on Monday morning, we don't want robots in the game. And like I said last week, we all want characters until one pops up.
Yes, exactly.
But depending on what their standards are within the four walls, and, maybe they've spoken to him 10 times about different things and gone, all right, you know what, this is the final straw. Here's your punishment. But it's just blown out. We had probably, 6 or 7 players and coaches come out last week and talk about it.
Yeah, it didn't need to be spoken about. Like, those are things that need to be discussed in private. They don't need to be out.
Yeah.
Especially for Josh. If he's getting pulled up for doing something that they don't want him to be doing, it doesn't then need to be told to everybody else.
Yeah, exactly right. Like, if you have Murphy come out on the Monday and say, he kept it simple. He said, we don't want robots in the game, and he didn't touch it anymore. Laird came out later that day and then just completely bottled the whole fucking story.
Yeah.
And then that led to Nix, and that led to Bamberlo, and that led to Dawson, and that led to someone else coming out as well. If you leave it at Murphy saying that and going, okay, we'll deal with the rest of this behind closed doors, no one else say anything, problem solved, and we don't have a shitstorm of week. But instead, every man and his dog's talking about it, and we're left embarrassed.
The thing is, if it wasn't for that, him getting dropped wouldn't have come from left field.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true. Exactly.
The amount of people we've seen on social media calling for Rochelle to have a break and a drop down to the twos and stuff like that. But it was the storm around him getting dropped.
Yep.
That then was like, oh, this is bullshit. Such a young player. Everyone was calling for him to be dropped anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
the way that it was done. If it had have just been, he's been admitted this week.
Yeah.
In the 4 walls, the leadership group, the coaching panel, and Josh knows what he's done.
Yep.
It didn't have to come out.
And he needed to know what he needed to do to fix it.
Yep.
We don't need to know what he's done wrong.
Yeah. Exactly right. And like, we get the perspective of senior player and Laird comes out and kicks him while he's down and says he's done this wrong.
Absolutely dog kicks him.
The next day it's leaked to Cal Toomey saying he's going to get dropped. So from our vision, it's like, okay, senior players are saying bad. Leadership player in Murphy says good. Josh gets dropped.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. Stay consistent with your messaging and it's not a problem.
Yep.
Yeah. I also hate the leaked bit as well.
Yeah.
Because it's like, where did it come from?
Yeah. And it's not like Cal Toomey is a newsbreaker per se as well. Like he's a
He'll report on something that's solid.
Exactly. Like, he's a footy personality and he knows his way around the league, but it's not like he's a Sam McClure or someone like that looking for a story. So
I think the part that pissed me off the absolute most about this, and it was something that a friend of the pod, Jenny, wrote to me, and the more I've thought about it, the more I agree. We've bowed essentially to Koshi and Port. Because Koshi made comments saying we need to take the sting out of the showdowns. We need to calm things down, ratchet it down. And this is after the fact. And then we go ahead and drop a player. Now, I know it's not us say, oh, geez, Koshi.
Fuck, he's right.
Yeah, he's right. Oh, my God, drop the wog. It wasn't that. But it was more why are we agreeing to that? Because to be perfectly honest, Port have had a very fucking long history of antagonising us to the point, that stupid banner, the perfect point that you've made before about the people that talk the most are the ones that are going to lose.
Yep.
Right? They did that stupid, Chardonnay, apricot slice, and then we beat them by 80 fucking odd points in 2017.
Then Ryan Burton talks about his dad, and then Tom Jonas says we're jealous, and then Chris, whatever the fuck his name is, the coach comes out.
Yeah, then they get mad at us by doing an aggressive costume change, from training to, coming on the ground. Who gives a shit? Just wear fucking that,
The thing is, let's isolate the bit that Josh, air quotations, provoked, right? He said on radio, oh, we all know that their supporters have no teeth, which is a Port Adelaide joke for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Same with Collingwood.
My granddad probably used it. Same with Collingwood, whatever. It's a tongue-in-cheek, throwaway thing. But what did that do? It made the Port supporters bring lolly teeth to the ground, which is a great bit of banter on their behalf.
It's better throwing that on the ground than a bottle.
Yeah.
We'll get to around the grounds in Patreon.
But they brought lollies. Yeah, maybe a few people threw them onto the ground. Josh runs off and brushes his teeth to the crowd. Ollie Wines smiles and points at his teeth afterwards. Really, that's just
harmless.
Fun.
Yeah.
That's harmless fun. The other stuff that happened around the showdown, not so much harmless fun. There's been a lot of shit, but the bit that Josh, air quotations, provoked was a fun little thing.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's just got blown out of proportion just
Exactly.
by mismanagement.
Yep.
From some players talking when they shouldn't have.
Just saying the wrong thing. Handle it within the four walls. Obviously, you're going to have journos ask about it because it was topical, it was big, and we lost from it. If we won, we're not talking about this right now, and he probably doesn't get dropped last week.
No.
Yeah.
But
And I think for me, the part that pissed me off the most was the fact that it's a Friday morning, and this was after we recorded our emergency podcast. Friday morning, it's a week before the AFL women's season, and guess what? All those reporters are there to see some guy,
yeah.
right? And that's not me trying to pull a misogynistic tag or anything. It's nothing like that. But it's just more the fact that all the hype from our season and potentially winning a fourth premiership and continuing your dynasty, it's just sapped.
Yeah, it's disappointing timing. Like it's
Really.
yeah.
Now, shall we get to some of the socials?
Yes.
Sounds good.
By the way, Ben, did you have some fun, especially with a certain bartender as well over in Sydney?
Oh, many. I spoke to many bartenders on Saturday, but one refusing his drinks after having 2 previous drinks at a different bar was
and how
was
big were
interesting.
those drinks?
Just normal schooners.
Okay.
Not the New South Wales schooners, which is an imperial pint here.
Oh, that's good.
But so they were big, but I wasn't sloshed at that point.
When I order interstate, I just say 2 of your biggest glasses of X.
Yeah.
And I just, you're from South Australia, are you? I'm just like, yeah, fucking anyway. I'll do Instagram stories.
Sounds good.
Which platform do you have?
I am just pulling up the chat now, but I'll roll with Facebook.
Okay, cool. And Ray will get you to do Twit.
Cool.
Or X. We did have a comment on YouTube as well. Fantastic comment as well, which I think we'll get to soonish. On Instagram stories, we say Chad Cockrum says, all I hope is that Port get kicked out of finals. Cadel Syme says, Nick's out. I don't give a fuck. 5 seasons, 4 bottom 4 finishers. We actually have a decent list. This is discussed, I assume, in. For both, instead, this is from a friend of the pod and Patreon, Dave Carnivale. He says, for both, just TCB. Instead of taking care of business, he says, typical Crom behaviour. Hayden Arthur says, pain, despair. We go into the Theberton era like this. Oh, we're going to do eras as well. Oh, yes.
We already have, which you can go to crowject.bigcartel.com and grab the amazing Solly Designs t-shirt.
Yeah, amen. Great top. And we got Matt Haas, the butcher of West Lakes. I don't know. Stack everybody involved in Nix's extension. I think he has a bone to pick with Darren Burgess there, maybe. Can't remember if I already replied, but I'm drunk and sad. Go Croms, and like 10 sad faces from Bailey Fry.
Could have been me.
Jesus, there's a lot here. Look, Grace Moore, who was at the game as well, she said, Crows to be my pallbearers at my funeral so they can let me down one last time.
That's an oldie but a goodie.
That's a goodie. Prune Masters as well wrote into us. And
Prune Masters?
Yeah, they said the Adelaide Crows Boys Club needs to be dismantled. Yeah. Ethan Morgan from Footy Posting says, Darcy Fogarty sucks. He's got some jealousy there, I don't know, or maybe just hates the guy. Sam Curtis says, started with high hopes, ended with doubts over coach plus club, in brackets rash sitch equals standard year. And It's Michael Lewis says, Die Hard 2 is not my favourite Die Hard movie, but it's still better than Die Hard 4. I haven't seen Die Hard 5. Now, I did put that on the story, and I did say, see, Die Hard 4, they did a Die Hard 4.0. Yeah. The more you learn, Ray, the more you learn. Anyway, that's it from Instagram stories. I'll take it over to who's ready.
I've got the artist formerly known as Twitter. Super Murray O'Bros says, please cease with the AI stuff. You're single-handedly killing art as a medium, and my eyes can only take so much. From the AI-generated post that you did.
Yeah, that was weird because
it had horses in it.
Yeah, there was a mention of horses in the chat or something. So I was just like, fuck it. I just said, make some Crows fans also horses and make them angry. And Microsoft AI said, we can do one better. Didn't see any doodles though. Anyway,
no.
Right.
Glenn Rigor says, it took most of the season, but at least when the kids were given a go, they gave us long-suffering supporters some hope. Big off-season is definitely needed to build some confidence back into a divided team. I agree that the kids given a go were good this year. Ben McCormack, Led should never to able to go near a football again. Deplorable effort is a nice word to use for his effort. Deplorable is a nice word to use for his effort tonight. Congrats to Nank on his first goal.
Big kick too. Very good goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only 45.
He roosted it.
Yeah. And that's it.
Cool.
All
And then
right.
there's a Bitcoin ad if you're interested.
Well, Facebook, we have 152 replies on the
bloody
post.
hell,
So
gee
there's
whiz.
a bit.
Shit. I think people were mad.
Probably just choose some.
A few Port supporters have cottoned onto it and have put a few memes in there, but that's okay because they still suck, though. It's fine. We have got Tim, who says, such a great club, but unfortunately its coaching group are ruining our reputation. The CEO and president need to respond ASAP or resign. Bit drastic. Matthew says we would have lost by one less goal if Rochelle was playing.
It's good stuff.
David
Good
says,
stuff.
David says something is very, very wrong at the club. It has to be culture. Leadership at some oral levels is not right. Hawthorn is the example. Passionate, skillful, aligned and successful.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's something stinky in that football department.
Yeah, something's not right. Like,
something's fucky.
yeah.
Like, I don't know. Someone's logged into someone's computer and has stolen photos. I don't know. Like, who knows?
It's Lockie Murphy. Joseph says, were the Crows fans booing the coach after the game? Oh, the irony. Joseph, it was a game at the SCG, mate. Even if we were booing Nixie off the field, you wouldn't have fucking heard it.
Yeah, exactly.
Clearly a Port fan because there's a few in the comments. Melissa says, last season's end left me with so much anger. This season's end has left me feeling sad, bewildered and disappointed, but at least I'll be supporting the players in my own way and not throwing them to the wolves. See you next season, boys, where I once again regain hopefulness and wear my jumper loud and proud. Good on you, Melissa. And one more thing we had, hang on, I saw it a moment ago. Who was it? Kevin says, I like that Guernsey, and it was on the post of that AI one as well. And I tend to agree. I actually don't mind the solid blue look of a Guernsey.
It's
It's nice.
But I don't get why it's a really big fucking seagull.
Yeah, look, maybe a swan.
Yeah, but even then, I clearly wrote into the thing, make it look like it was drawn by a 4-year-old. Like, that looks like somewhat talented.
Oh, yeah.
Really sorry to Super Mario bros on Twitter for using AI. Like I said, low energy for a game, no offense, no one could give a shit about. But Die Hard was on.
They had a crack at me today on Twitter about my opinions on text, and I think it could be Ethan in our Patreon's chat, but I don't know if it officially is. It might or might not be.
I think it is.
Share some opinions.
Yes, yeah. Now, God, you know, I let all this out with Lockie, but like seriously, I'm just fucking over all this, and I can't wait for this off season. But we got to get through fucking trade period too. But some of our draft picks have improved.
Yeah, we've got pick 4 and pick 25, I believe. But
Death Riding Melbourne as well has sort of helped.
Yeah, no, 100%. But this off season is probably one of the most important. And we said this last year and nothing happened, but genuinely one of the most important, I think, in a long time.
Yep.
Yes.
We've got the potential to add premiership players like Neil Bullen, great talent in Luke Hocius. We've got the chance to pick up as Sid Draper, who's going to be a really good talent and is local.
Neil Barnes to just, send emails.
with his Outlook signature.
Correct.
But yeah, so this off season, I don't want to pump it up too much or sound dramatic because you're both probably sitting.
But
here
it's
going,
the most
"Shut up."
important in the history of our club.
No, genuinely. If we come out of this trade period in off season and we don't pick up much and it ends up, we get a fringe player like Burgess last year, and we don't get Lukosius and we don't get Neil Bullen and we don't get we're going to get a good draft pick unless we trade it. But it's
Watch us fuck it up and get someone like Hipwood.
worrying.
I can see Gold Coast pushing back on the Lukosius one just because he's so they've got such a big investment in him.
Yeah, and they've got leverage with the contract as well. So
They do have leverage.
The fact that Dimaduki dropped him and he didn't even play VFL,
I don't know. There's
I've got some intel on
they've
that.
still got some power in that situation.
I
though.
know.
So
We're going to do a Gibbs.
we can't give up the world for him because that would just be
We're going to do a Gibbs.
we just can't. Neil Bullen, you try. highly rate Neil Bullen. I think he's a very important player to Melbourne's success. But you get him in for maybe a second rounder or something like that. You're happy.
Yeah, you can have pick 25 back. There you go.
Yeah. But it's just, I don't know. There's not also a lot around.
Yeah.
Apart from Lukosius, which it would be great to have him back. He's best friends with Connor Rosie, so that puts us at a disadvantage. They, very close. The Port have to give up what we do, maybe not.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an interesting off season, but I don't know. Unless some people are going to start coming out. There's also Nick Hines just been delisted by Essendon this morning. He probably wouldn't be a bad pickup for us as a depth. He's a delisted free agent.
He's fast, but he's not much else. That would be my only worry.
The worst period as well. Ex-player gets delisted and looking on Adelaide Crows Pride the Forum. Would such person, be good at the club?
I was waiting for someone to post that Collingwood player that got delisted who played like 3 games, the ruckman. I bet someone in the forum will suggest it.
Yeah, there's but like 10 posts by now.
Yeah. You can have a look at a couple of those recycled players that are going to come out of it at the end of the year. I don't know.
Yeah.
See, it's hard to judge at the moment because not everyone's made their list changes. No one's sort of at that point.
True.
So
yeah, it'd be interesting to see how many we delist or trade as well, because I think there's a few who probably aren't sleeping easy at the moment because their contract probably isn't guaranteed at the moment, but I suppose it's all to come, and we'll certainly be right on top of it as it all happens.
Probably a couple of days late.
Hear it probably 3rd or 4th. Maybe.
Yeah. You don't want to hear it here first, but my God, we'll be cynical about it. Now, if you ever want to leave us a voice message, you can just give us a call on 82465498. But part of having that phone number as well is our amazing patrons as well. And a big thank you to our patrons as well, who do an amazing job in keeping all the lights on here at our bunker as well. And a big shout out to our patrons, $10 and above. We've got Hayden, fucking bloody dyslexia has just hit me. Hayden Arthur, a.k.a. The Real Hilf, as well. Jordan Marnie, Dave Carnavale, Jess Cook, Jake Bockove, Drew Corner, Sam Curtis, Sean Marie Davies, Brendan McGarrigan, James Payne, Simone McDonald, Jezza Withers, Paul David Clennett, Matt Roylands, and Neil Roylands. Thank you so much, guys, for being a part of our Patreons, $10 and above as well. And you know what? I did say this week I was going to read them all out, but fuck it, I'll do it next week. Because, Peter does do prep as well. Crowject.bigcartel.com to get all your Crom beanies too. Now, Ben, we talked about your major contribution to the Tizer, which you'll probably be named deputy editor next week.
The contract's on the table. I just haven't decided what I'm doing with it yet.
Yeah.
Now, we also talked about the fact that there will be announcements throughout the week too. But let's give it, I just want to go very quickly, a prediction of what's going to happen in the off, like a major thing that's going to happen from the club in the off season.
So no Brad Summers.
Yeah. Very demure when this one happens.
A major off season. I think. Oh gosh, I think it's going to be quite a quiet off season, and everyone's going to be like, "What's going on?"
Oh, you reckon we're just not going to say a thing?
Yeah, it's going to be very, very.
So we're going to fire the whole comms team.
Demure. Yeah.
Yeah, very demure. So. Be very brat summer for people writing opinion pieces and doing a podcast too.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think.
So your prediction, nothing's going to happen?
Yeah, in a good way.
Okay.
Like, sometimes stuff happening is a bad way.
Yeah.
It's true.
I present to you Melbourne Football Club's off season.
Oh, yeah. Where things totally did not happen at the start of this year.
Are we going to Vegas or what?
That was Brisbane as well.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think we'll have
Vegas,
pretty neutral off season.
Very, very demure.
I would put the opposite side of the coin. I think there might be some changes, and I don't specifically know, potentially coach-wise, or a few players that are on the edge, like we spoke about a moment ago, might not get the contracts that typically the Crows would give. And maybe I'm talking out of dreamland about what I want to happen at the club, but I'm not sure. I just feel like if the club's serious about moving forward, then we might see a few of those stronger moves that they see the successful clubs make and ones that we typically haven't previously.
Yeah, I reckon it's going to be a fucking bloodbath.
Do you reckon?
Like the HR department at Crom are going to be like, this paperwork is not going to get out quick enough. Like there is too much going on.
The media releases are just a revolving door. You can't.
Yeah, exactly. That fax machine, just keep it going. Like honestly, I think this is going to make or break our club for the next 10 years. I'm not exaggerating either. I think we really need to think about what the hell we're doing down there, and that's putting it mildly. Or maybe it might be a bit demure. Who knows?
I'm going demure.
Or maybe it's a head in the sand, nothing to see here kind of off-season. Typical Crows for the last 10 years.
Yeah. It's either going to be skibbity riz or skibbity toilet. Just fucking Jesus. All right, now in the SANFL, there were things that happened. However, we need to talk about something that we have not done yet: the bungee medal. Because Ben, he's been using the abacus. He's gotten a leaderboard as well, Ben.
Indeed.
Tell us more.
Indeed. Well, firstly, we'll give our votes for the last game.
Oh, that's right.
We do need to do that part because otherwise the leaderboard at the end won't be full.
Oh, yeah.
And in a moment, we'll
very rigorous.
Exactly right. And in a moment, we'll get to a Brownlow style coverage. I've got a leaderboard up to round 7, and that's purely based on because I was extremely hungover yesterday and didn't have time to do the full the full season.
I haven't done highlight package.
Exactly.
Especially
we'll play after the ads.
Yeah, okay.
That's right. So, Pete, who gets your 3 for the game against Sydney?
Jeez, I would give it to Rochelle if he was fucking playing.
All right, we'll give it a lad.
I'm going to have to go 3 for Dorse, 2 for Filthy, and 1 for Crouch.
Lovely. Ray, who you got?
I've got 3 for Dawson, 2 for Thilthorpe, 1 for Nank.
Don't mind that. That's good.
So Filth was 2, sorry, was it?
Yes.
Nank. And I have gone 3 for Thilthorpe because, like you said earlier, he could not get away from the ball. If he could kick straight on the weekend, he would have had a massive night. So that is there. Zach Taylor.
If some butts were candy and nuts, we'd all be a very happy boy. It's getting late, guys.
It is. My 2 I gave to Zach Taylor. I thought he was very, very good and obviously stepped up and kicked his 3 goals, but he was very impressive from a ground level. He covered the ground very well and was very much working hard in a game where, maybe not the full 22 was working extremely hard for the whole game. And I gave Dawson my 1. So results-wise, that means Dawson and Thilthorpe will tie with 7 votes. Zach Taylor will pick up the 2 with 2 votes that I've given there, and Nank and Crouch will tie for the 1 with 1 vote each. We go back to the leaderboard after round 7.
Okay.
There's a lot of papers going on here.
Oh my God, it's like watching Anthony Green. Like, look at Jesus. Okay, there are papers going everywhere.
That is quite literally just old run sheets just sitting in the middle there.
There is currently an orangutan crying somewhere at the moment.
That's about 7 trees made up of this book.
A little rhesus monkey is just, where's my home going?
So, after 7 rounds of the season, we'll go down to 7th place because that's just the amount of players who got votes to this stage.
Okay.
Brody Smith and Rory Laird sitting together, ironically, with 1 vote at that stage of the season.
I hope they stay there.
No, they may do. I don't think they got many after that. Mitch Hinge had 2 votes at this stage of the season.
He had a great season.
He did. I think he features in a few more votes to come up the table.
The Minge is rising. Ben.
Indeed. Worrell had 3 votes at this time of the year, so he was
very
in
good
5th.
season.
Max Michelini and Mark Keane in 4th at the moment with 4 votes.
I think one of them might get a few more votes.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Now into the place getters, Crouch and Dawson both had 6 votes, so they are sitting in 3rd place at this stage. Jake Saligo in 2nd with 7 votes, and Isaac Rankin at the top with 10 votes. Will his missed games come back to haunt him for the elusive bungee medal? Find out after these messages. And by these messages, I mean weeks.
All right, let's get to it. Thank you, Ben, for that. SANFL. Yeah, we don't want to play finals.
No, we lost.
So we lost.
Couldn't kick straight.
And
it was such a perfect day for footy out there. I went down to Unley Oval and watched it. It was a perfect day for footy.
It was a great day.
Both teams could not kick. it was hectic out there. It was a tough world. Sturt was 7 goals 18 to us 5 goals 16.
Now, that doesn't matter because at the same time at the Ponderosa up in Elizabeth, there was a winner, and it was Port Adelaide of Nonna's Wooden Spoon, as you can see here. Yes, as you can see here, only the finest of Indonesian rainforests have been cut down for this wooden spoon, which you can see it turns. I'm just patting as well to get all the farts out of the way. But if you head to Giganus as well, about, I don't know, $3 or something, and apparently that's how much it cost if you wanted to save the Magpies back in the mid-90s when they ran out of money. Who knew? But congratulations to Port Magpies for shitting the bed again, and thank you to Ray's Central Districts for...
Why my Central Districts?
You like Central?
No.
I thought you did.
No.
All right, anyway. Oh, that's all good. But thank you to someone's Central Districts. You know what? Fuck it. I'll take them on. That was sponsored by Holden for ages. I
thank the old bloke who turned up to the ground with that massive wooden spoon, which had some reference to the mid-90s or something, which I have no idea about.
It was a threatening wooden spoon.
It was big.
That was like, you could... You get, if you got a wind up like that, you could really Happy Gilmore some kid's ass back in the 90s, you know, like they're being a little shit. Fucking bang. Don't do that now. I feel like a nonno, like waving my wooden spoon around like this. But yeah, we didn't want to play finals, and neither did Port. And God help them with depth into the final series, because they can't replace Houston.
Or Farrell.
Or Sam Powell-Pepper, who got signed this week for some reason. Anyway, the other thing too, in the All-Australian side of things, we don't have to worry about getting measured for a jacket because none of our players made it on the list.
To the squad, no. 0 players made it to the squad of 44.
Yep.
Which, as said by Ben before, Isaac played a couple of games more. He probably could have, but wasn't to be.
Indeed.
But que sera, sera. As the great philosophers Justice Crusoe said.
Oh my God. Oh, do we need to get out of here, I reckon?
Yes.
It's near the end of the pod. All right, look, big thank you to Kristen as well. And listen to our Patreon exclusive stuff as well. We've got Obscure Crow, we've got Pre-Rolls and Segment Street, which is coming up in a second. Follow us on socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, at Crowject. Big thank you to our Patreons again. And look, get some Crom merch if you want, or don't, I don't care.
But more do.
Yeah, do. And a big thank you to our sponsors at Solely Designs, Nathaniel's Coffee and Panini, Trojan Aluminium, and ARC General Maintenance. Ben, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you.
My name's Peter. Go Crom.
Go Crom.